And welcome everyone. We'll call this meeting to order. South Huron Council meeting, September 16th, 2024. And to thank our staff for attending this evening and those that are participating from home, welcome. All members of council are present with the exception of Deputy Mayor Dietrich. And we thank our staff for attending here again. As I said, we'll ask that everyone make sure their cell phones are turned off or on mute. And we'll ask everyone to rise for O Canada, please. Please be seated, and we will begin our meeting with the land acknowledgement. As we gather, we are reminded that the municipality of South Huron is situated on Treaty 29 land that is steeped in rich Indigenous history and home to First Nations, Inuit, and Métis people today. And as a community, we have a responsibility to honor and respect this territory's significance with Indigenous peoples who lived and continue to live upon it, and whose practices and spiritualities were tied to the land and continue to develop in relationship to the territory and its other inhabitants today. In the spirit of reconciliation and truth, we acknowledge the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee peoples on whose traditional territory we are meeting. And again, make sure your cell phones are turned off, and we'll move on to item number 2, please.
That South Huron Council approves the agenda as presented.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor Oak. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? Carries with 6. Thank you. Disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Are there any disclosures at this time? Not seeing any. Move on to item number 4, presentation, which there are none. Delegations under number 5, there are none. Public meeting under number 6, there is none. And number 7.1, Ms. Masuha-Carlson, please.
That South Huron Council adopts the minutes of the regular council meeting of September 3rd, 2024 as printed and circulated.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Dietrich, seconded by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Number 8, please.
That the correspondence of the following committees and or boards be received as presented to council. Blue Water Recycling Association correspondence, BRA Controller Michelle Courtney, appointed president.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Neeb, seconded by Councillor McLeod-Haggett. Any discussion? Councillor Oak. Microphone, please.
Thank you, Mayor. Just wondering if we could throw out an invite to her to come to council and introduce herself to us. That'd be great.
We certainly can. Thank you. Any other discussion? We have a mover and a seconder. If there's no further discussion, I'll call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. 8.2, please.
That South Huron Council receives the Dashwood Community Development Fund Committee draft minutes of August 29th, 2024. And that South Huron Council approve the recommendation of the Dashwood Community Development Fund Committee that an allocation of an upset limit of $15,000 from the Dashwood Community Development Fund Reserve be used for the purchase and installation of new receptacles using the existing brackets for the new street lights being relocated on Dashwood Main Street for the ability to have Christmas lights decorations hung.
And a mover, please. Moved by Councillor Vaughn, seconded by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Staff reports number 9.1, please, and 2.1.
That council receives a report of Jeremy Becker, General Manager of Community and Emergency Services, automatic aid agreement with the municipality of Lambton Shores for fire protection services. That council approve the automatic aid agreement with the municipality of Lambton Shores for fire protection services, and that the bylaw be forwarded for the required 3 readings.
And a mover, please. Councillor Oaks, seconded by Councillor Neeb. Any discussion? Councillor Dietrich, go ahead, please.
I kind of read this over. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. How does this compare to the one agreement we have with Blue Water?
Mr. Sewell-Colson, are you able to comment? Oh, there's Chief. Chief, how are you?
Good,
You-
thank you. Sorry, through the mayor, thank you for the question. The current agreement we have with Blue Water is based on assessed value, and that's the way we had been doing things previously over the years. And we're now moving into the automatic aid agreements. So we will be most likely going to this same style of agreement with Blue Water when it comes time for renewal.
Thank you. Follow up, Councillor Dietrich? Okay, thank you. Councillor Vaughn, go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you. Okay, Jeremy, since you're on the line tonight in the middle of vacation, just wanted to ask you about this agreement. This way we're approaching this agreement is a little bit different than the way we've been approaching things in Grand Bend previously, I believe, in that I don't think we had dual response in terms of Lambton Shores shows up, then we show up, then we turn over who's in charge to South Huron. So I just wondered if you could confirm that's a little different and maybe give me a little bit of logic about why that change.
Chief?
Great, thank you through the mayor. That question, this is the agreement that has been proposed from Lambton Shores. This is the agreement they've used with their other municipal partners that they provide coverage to. It is slightly different in the wording. It was a fire service agreement. Now it's an automatic aid agreement. What this actually does is we'll have them as the initial responding. And once we arrive on scene, they then the call will be turned over to the home department, being us, as the calls in South Huron, and then they would be able to return back to their own area for protection. Like I said, this is the agreement they have proposed. They have standardized their agreements. They have one with Warwick. They just had one with North Middlesex and excuse me, and now us, and they have one more to do after us.
Thank you.
As far as response, dual response, we always responded with 2 stations to any fire incident with them. So there's no change in that. We've been doing that in the previous agreement, sorry.
Councillor Vaughn, follow up?
No, just wanted to thank you. I didn't realize that we had both municipalities attending any given fire, but okay, that's good. Thanks.
And Councillor Oak, you had a question?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. And just to clarify, Jeremy, that this does not, moving forward, South Huron isn't responsible for any capital items with this new agreement.
Chief?
Yes, through the mayor, that's correct, Councillor Oak. This removes us from capital input into the Lambton Shores stations. So we're solely responsible for the protection only. So no more capital.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Councillor Dietrich?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Do you have a number of how many households are going to be involved with the Lambton Shores project?
Chief?
Thank you. Through you, Mayor Finch, as well. In the agreement, there's 535 properties, and that came from our tax collector. I do know the agreement that's the draft agreement that there says a different number, but I believe that was a typo, and that was from the agreement they did with North Middlesex.
Great, thank you. Any other questions? Okay, not seeing. Thank you very much, Chief, for participating. I know you're on vacation and we really appreciate your dedication. If there's no further discussion, we have a mover and a seconder. I'll call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Okay, thank you. Moving on to the next item, please.
The South Huron Council receives a report from Melissa Keller, Manager of Environmental Services, read results of the annual DWQMS Management Review.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Neeb, seconded by Counselor McLeod Haggett. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Thank you. Thanks, Alyssa. Next item, please.
That South Huron Council received the report from Don Giberson, General Manager of Infrastructure and Development, Rehousing Enabling Water System Fund Grant Funding Program, Intake 2, and that South Huron Council confirms that the London Road South Trunk Sanitary Sewer from Mary and Waterloo Street to Snyder Crescent Sewage Pumping Station is a top priority growth-related project for the Housing Enabling Water System Fund Grant Funding Program, Intake 2, and that South Huron Council confirms that if the grant application is successful, the municipal portion of the project will be funded through external borrowing.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Oak, seconded by Counselor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. 9.4.1, please.
That South Huron Council received staff report CR 06-2024, revised council report template for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Vaughn, seconded by Counselor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Thank you. Next item, notice of, where are we at here? Notice of motion. Are there any notice of motions, Madam Clerk?
Yes, there is a notice of motion from Councillor Neeb. So the motion, whereas South Huron Heritage Advisory Committee has presented a letter to South Huron Council outlining concerns regarding heritage preservation in South Huron. And whereas prior to royal assent of the More Homes Built Faster Act 2022, subsection 29, sub 1.2 of the Ontario Heritage Act provided council of a municipality the opportunity to give a notice of intention to designate a property within 90 days of a prescribed event. And whereas the More Homes Built Faster Act 2022 amended subsection 29 sub 1.2 of the Ontario Heritage Act to provide that council may give notice of intention to designate a property only if the property is listed in the register under subsection 27 sub 3 or a predecessor of that subsection as of the date of the prescribed event. And whereas the Heritage Advisory Committee has noted concerns regarding this amendment, limiting the authority of municipal councils to designate properties with the potential to undermine the effectiveness of heritage preservation efforts across the province. And whereas the Heritage Advisory Committee has provided correspondence, which council received previously, attached to this resolution to South Huron Council in relation to concerns requesting council support and to communicate those concerns to the province and forward a copy of this motion to the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, municipal councils across the province and provincial MPP. Now therefore be it resolved that the Corporation for the Municipality of South Huron requests the province reconsider the amendment to subsection 29 sub 1.2 of the Ontario Heritage Act, and that this motion and attached correspondence will be forwarded to the Premier of Ontario, Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, Minister of Citizenship and Multiculturalism, Association of Municipalities of Ontario, municipal councils across the province, and MPP Thompson.
As this is just a notice of motion, there would be no secondary, but so moved, Counselor Neeb.
Yes, so moved.
So moved. Thank you very much. Moving on to the next item, please. 11.1. Any comments in regards to 11.1? The present delegations from the last meeting. I wonder if maybe staff has an update or can provide any update.
Council did request a report to be brought back, so staff are working on that right now.
Great. Thank you very much. If there's nothing further, we'll go on to 11.2. 11.2, please.
That South Huron Council receives the memo of Alex Wolf, clerk, revesting of Queen's Park status update for information.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Neeb, seconded by Counselor Oak. Any discussion? I call the question. All in favor? That carries with 6. Thank you. Is there any new business under 12? Not seeing any. Mayor and Councillor comments and announcements under 13. Anything to announce? Nothing. Councillor Oak.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. Just want to thank all the volunteers for their efforts for the Kirkton Fair this year. The weather didn't quite cooperate for all the events, but it was still a very successful fair overall. And I want to thank the mayor and warden and Rebecca that was in attendance as well. That while I was there, so appreciate. It was a great event. And also attended the official plan meeting back there on Tuesday. No, when was that? Last Thursday. Yeah. And there was not a lot of people in attendance, but the ones that were there were very engaged and asking a lot of questions. So it was well received. So.
Good, thank you. Anything else from anyone else? Okay, so as far as the mayor comments, I've been to different events and whatnot. I think last September 8th, I was at the fundraiser for Less Than League in the parking lot here, very well attended. They're very pleased with the support from our staff and council in endorsing them to use the parking lot and our staff with the barricades. So it was very well attended, like I said, and we're very happy that it was successful. Another event I went to, Shipka on Friday at noon. I attended Cecilia Muller, John and Cecilia Muller's residence, and met the Bulgarian consulate, Ms. Panova, Velislava Panova. She attended from Toronto from the consulate, and Cecilia has done an amazing job. Has got a big plaque on her front lawn with a Bulgarian flag in the middle, proudly being displayed. Some different, just a beautiful layout. And we're very fortunate for Cecilia, and I find her to be a real patriot, quite honestly, because she took this on, and it's just something to see. So she's welcoming anyone that's in the area to stop by. Stop at Alan Barnes Shipka drive in there, park there if you'd like, and come across the road and just take a look what she's done. But she's really very focused on supporting what Shipka is all about and the history of it. So tying it in from Bulgaria, the same name, Shipka Bulgaria to Shipka Ontario, quite a difference in size for communities, of course. But it's pretty interesting to watch and to see how passionate Cecilia is on it. I'd like to thank our firefighters for this past Saturday morning. Did the car wash at the fire station. Very creative, and we're very fortunate to have such a dedicated group of professional volunteer firefighters. Can't say enough good about them. Lots of positive comments. So I don't know if we were able to get to it or not, but we're just very fortunate for them. So, and again, our chief here is here tonight on vacation, and their level of dedication is just unparalleled anywhere. I think that's all I have, unless somebody else has something else. No, okay, move on to communications. Ms. Masuda Carlson.
14.1. 14.2.
Pull.
14.3.
Pull that.
14.4.
Pull that.
14.5. 14.6. 14.7. That includes 7.1 and 7.2.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Need, go ahead, please. I was going to ask for 14.2, but go ahead.
Yep. For 14.2, it looks like they're requesting use of a shelter, and I'm just wondering if we would be able to open up the rec center for this tournament that they're mentioning.
Mrs. Sue Carlson.
Through the mayor, the tournament is passed, and yes, we did. Thank you. We did open up and advise them that the building and washrooms were available, as well as the hall was. If they so needed, they could have contacted us and we would have made arrangements.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. 14.3, I've asked for that to be pulled, and 14.4. I guess my position on this is there's always 2 points of view on anything. There's been lots of discussion about the sewer extension, the Tridon revisal proposal, etc. So I guess what I'm saying here is we always have to keep an open mind, and I think these letters both address that. So I just want to make everyone aware that it's been brought forward, and just to keep an open mind on what people are talking about. Anything else at all? Okay, that's it. We'll go on to the resolution, please.
That South Huron Council received communication items not otherwise dealt with.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Oak, seconded by Counselor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? And that carries with 6. Thank you. And 15, go ahead.
That South Huron Council proceeds in closed session at 6:20 PM for the purpose of addressing a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality in accordance with subsection 239(2)(c) of the Municipal Act, and that the CAO and clerk remain in attendance.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Dietrich, seconded by Counselor McLeod Haggard. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? That carries with 6. Thank you. We'll just wait for staff to prepare the room. Okay, 6:36 PM. Reporting out session under 16. Council met in closed session to consider matters. It is permitted to do so under the Municipal Act and as listed on today's council. The following items were considered during the closed session. A proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality in the minutes of August 12th, 2024. As a result of our closed session today and closed meeting minutes of August 12th, 2024 have been approved, and the following will be considered by council in open session. Number one, the report CAO 10-2024 regarding Eric Campbell Ford Lincoln request regarding part lots 823, 824, and 825, Plan 376 Exeter at corner of highways 4 and 83 be received, and that council approve staff to proceed with option 2 outlined in the report. Good. Next item. Sorry. Oh, do we have a mover for that, please? Counselor Oak, second by Counselor Neeb. Any discussion? Call a question, all in favor. Carries with 6. Thank you. And move on to 17.1, please.
That South Huron Council gives third and final reading to bylaw 48-2024, being a bylaw to provide for the Brockhearn Municipal Drain 2024 in the municipality of South Huron.
And a mover, please. Counselor Neeb, seconded by Counselor Vaughn. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor. Carries with 6. Thank you. 17.2.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 50-2024, being a bylaw to adopt an agreement with the Township of Perth South to share building department officials.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Dietrich, seconded by Counselor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor. That carries with 6. Thank you. 17.3.
South Huron gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 51-2024, being a bylaw to authorize the assigning of names to highways to plan of subdivision, Solhaven, 40T 20006.
And a mover, please. Moved by Counselor Neeb, seconded by Counselor Oak. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor. Carries with 6. Thank you. 17.4.
The South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 52-2024, being a bylaw to authorize the assigning of names to highways to a plan of subdivision, Windermere, 40T 22002.
And a mover, please. Counselor Dietrich, seconded by Counselor Neeb. Discussion? Call the question, all in favor. Carries with 6. Thank you. 17.5.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 53-2024, being a bylaw to authorize the assigning of names to highways to a plan of subdivision, Huron Park, 40T 20001.
And a mover, please. Counselor McLeod Haggett, seconded by Counselor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor. Carries with 6. 18.1.
That South Huron Council gives first, second, third, and final reading to bylaw 54-2024, being a bylaw to confirm matters addressed at the September 16th, 2024 council meeting.
And a mover, please. Counselor Dietrich, seconded by Counselor Neeb. Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor. That carries with 6. And 19, please.
That South Huron Council hereby adjourn at 6:40 PM to meet again on October 7th, 2024 at 6 PM or at the call of the chair.
Moved by Counselor Neeb, seconded by Counselor McLeod Haggett. No discussion. Call the question, all in favor. That carries with 6. Thank you. Thank you everyone for attending this evening.